Today, I'm going to answer the age-old question, where am I supposed to point my gun? Well, at a first glance, this doesn't really seem to be a really complicated answer to this question. You aim your gun at what you're wanting to shoot. What the question really is asking is what the sights on your gun should be lining up at. And this may be something that you've never even thought about. I've always just kind of picked up a gun and just aimed at what I was shooting at, and I never really had anybody tell me what the sights on this were supposed to be actually lining up at. The sights have these nice little dots on them, so it would seem to make sense that you would want to put the dots directly over what it is that you were wanting to shoot. Something that kind of looks like this picture here. Now, is that the right thing to do? Well, most people would tell you no, actually. And why would they tell you no? Well, the problem with this is that when you line your sights up over the target like that, you can't actually see the target. You kind of can if it's just a big paper target like what we've got there. But if you're trying to shoot at something that's a bit of a ways off, you're kind of covering up what you're shooting at. So if you're not supposed to line up your sights directly over what you're shooting at, what are you supposed to do? Well, with pistols, they're kind of designed and sighted in for you to have your sights be directly under the target. So it'd be something more like what you see in this picture here. So with a round target like that, you end up with part of the circle of the target just kind of going over the top of your sights there, and you have it a little bit lower. Well, it will hit directly above it there. Now that's generally how pistols are going to come sighted. I think what has brought a lot of people to thinking it needs to be directly over it are the dots on the sights there. And while those dots are really nice for lining up things, they kind of make people think that those dots are supposed to go directly over it. If you go to an older style firearm that has a notch sight on the rear there, and where you don't have that dot on the front sight, you can see that it becomes a little bit more clear that that probably should be just directly below what it's supposed to be at so you can actually hit it. Now, most people, when they get their pistols, they're not going to mess with the sights on them. They're not trying to mess with the elevation on it, maybe the windage a little bit. This one here, you can work with the windage on this and kind of get your left and right, but that up and down elevation is really not something you can easily adjust on a pistol like this. So that's kind of where they're sighted in at for the closer ranges that you would expect to be using a pistol at. And this would kind of end up going the same way with rifles, although a lot of people will sight in rifles to their own personal preferences, so you might get the sights on those to be a little bit different. Now, we're talking about what would be iron sights on a rifle. And that's going to be the same for buckhorn or peep sights or whatever you have on your particular rifle. Some people will go ahead and adjust them to be directly over the target because that's what they want. There's some that want them to be just kind of slightly under like we're talking about, and then there's some that want a little bit of a gap in there to where you have the sight, a little bit of a gap, and then the target. And if you want to go ahead and zero in your rifle to be a little bit different on that, you absolutely can. Now, if we're talking about something like a scope or a red dot, you want to have your reticle directly over it there. The dot on the red dot should go directly over what you're wanting to shoot there, because you don't have it blocking the same way that you have a pistol blocking there. You've got the whole bottom of the firearm that ends up blocking a lot of your field of vision when you're looking down it, and you really don't have that with the scopes and red dots, with it being up above it a bit there. So pistols from the factory set to be just slightly below the actual target that you're aiming at there. That is probably your conventional school of thought on this for pistols or rifles. However, if you want to set things up differently on your own, you are fine to zero in your weapon exactly how you want it. And this is why you need to zero in your rifle, because you know where you're wanting to hold at. Someone else might be trying to hold it a different spot and not set it properly for you. So if you found this video useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and a like. If you think I'm completely wrong on all this, go down into the comments section and completely slam this video. If you liked it and want to see more like it, or if you hated it and want to slam more videos like it, you can subscribe to my channel and click the little bell notification so you can find out about all the videos that I post so you don't miss anything. I'm Jeremy with Poindexter G, and we'll see you next time.